notifications up is basically what I'm saying. But today I want to talk about one of the reasons why you may be experienced in business that you made some progress, maybe even some really quite good progress, and then it go like that, right? And then it flatlines out, and then it just never seems to quite blow up, or flow up to where you really know that it should be. And so we're going to talk about a critical element of successful entrepreneurialism. And when I say successful, what I mean by that is that you're on purpose, you're being who you're meant to be, you're pressing fully play, as I would say. You're saying yes to what's inside of you and you're letting it out. So it's alignment, it's purpose work, it's being on path. I have to have one leg up when I'm talking. It's just how I do, all right? It's all those things, but it is also money. And let's face it, if you're here, it's $1 million business as a warm-up, please, right? That's just a reality of people who come into my space. And it's not about the money. Everyone who's not us thinks that it's about the money. When you start making it about the money is when you forgot who you are. That's what happened. So that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about, because it's never been about the money for entrepreneurs like us, for creators like us. You could just ignore the comments for now. Sam is helpfully putting them there for later, because the Play Life Rule Breaker Society did just start. The doors opened yesterday. The prep work, pre-work is in there. This is building a business. This is a 6-week build a business program with me. It's a brand new course. Absolute yes, no-brainer offer on the pricing side of things. But actually what we're doing, like building a business is a pretty dry way of saying it. What we're doing is we're looking through a lens where you have no choice but to be all that you came here to be. And therefore, as an outcome of that, the ideal soulmate clients show up, the thing blows up, glows up, and flows up. Sam, write that down. Blow up, glow up, glow up. I should use that as a tagline for something. How good is that? I never said it before. Blow up, glow up, and flow up. So as soon as you start making it about the money, as soon as you start making it about what is the next thing that you think you should need to do to have more ideal clients coming in, or to understand how your offer is going to sell, or to get the freaking thing off the ground if it's still sitting on the ground like a blow up, flow up, glow up. How good is that? She texted to me. If it's still sitting on the ground like a grounded plane on the tarmac. You guys, do you know that one time, years ago, many moons ago, when was this? 2014 or 15, I think. Had a couple babies underfoot. I was traveling by myself from Melbourne, Australia, which is where I'm at now, not in Melbourne, I'm in the Gold Coast, but I was in Melbourne. And I was traveling through to Barcelona just with the 2 babies by myself. My husband at the time was already there in Spain waiting. And we were living out of a suitcase at the time. We were living location free for a couple of years. And we'd gone back to Melbourne for a holiday, but I had taken the kids back to Melbourne to see family, and he had gone from where we were at before, which was the Bahamas actually, and he'd gone straight through to Barcelona for whatever reason. He had something, he had to do that, so he didn't come to Melbourne. So then I had to travel from Melbourne through to Barcelona by myself with the kids, and it turned into a 52-hour trip. 52 hours. I had about 1.5 hours of sleep in that 52 hours because I had a breastfeeding baby and then a toddler. Because I got on a plane from Melbourne to fly into Beijing, and as that plane was coming into land, they said, blah, 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 in 20 minutes or however long it is, we're just beginning our descent into Shanghai. I was like, in a moment I'm going to talk to you, by the way, I can tell this story first because I want to, but in a moment I'm going to talk to you about this is why you don't have the $1 million freaking business that you already should have. And a big part of that is because it was never about the money for you. But I got something to say that is so much more profound than that, because that's already like obvious. I'm going to punch you straight in the face with some truth today that you need to hear. But first I'm going to tell this story because I want to. So I'm thinking, how on earth do you get on a plane that's landing in the wrong place? How is this possible? Is this even possible? I got on a plane with 2 babies to land in Beijing and they're landing in Shanghai? What's happening? Like, how can that happen, right? I was befuddled. So then it turns out they told me, which I didn't believe and I still don't, they told me that all planes landing into China had to land in Shanghai and clear customs in Shanghai before you go to Beijing, and that's always been the rule. The reason I didn't believe this is that I traveled to China a few years prior to that, to Beijing, quite a few years prior. It was the Olympics, the 2008 Olympics, and nobody was landing that plane in Shanghai, and they told me it's always been that way. So because my plane was landing in Shanghai, we had to deboard they then say, you just quickly get off, you'll get back on, it's no drama, we'll land in Beijing, we'll go straight to Beijing. I was worried about my connecting flight to Barcelona. Well, sure enough, the heavens opened, much as they have here today. My pool is going to overflow right there. No, it's not. I speak against that. I got grounded on that tarmac for 8 hours. 8 hours. I was like sleeping on the floor in the end because I had a breastfeeding baby who didn't have their own seat. So he had my seat. Anyway, that was the story. What I was talking about is your business flatlined like a grounded plane on the tarmac. I ended up stuck in that Beijing airport for hours, you guys, and then they sent me to a hotel in the forest with the babies in the middle of China, in the middle of nowhere, and told me that I'm not going to be able to go to Beijing for 3 days. That was a manifestation story because I got those babies and went to the airport the next day, and I was like, I'm not leaving this desk, the desk of the airline, until you put me on a plane to anywhere in Europe. It was a whole story. I ended up in France. I ended up with a VIP escort through the back of Paris airport. All sorts of things happened. I got abused in French for being an annoying American, but I understand French. So then I had babies and I've been traveling 50 hours by that point and they were refusing to get my stroller. And I was like, I'm not American and I can understand what you're saying. That's the whole story. All right, back on track. Is your business flatlined? Or are you sporadically or periodically going through periods where you feel like your business is like on the freaking tarmac and it's not taking off and you don't understand why, because you are taking action, you are showing up, and or you fit into the camp of people who are not really taking action and not really showing up because you just need to kick your own butt or get somebody to kick your own butt and work with you and actually support you, guide you and help you to hold yourself to a standard of being who you came to be and realize that it's not even actually about whether or not this thing works or goes to the next level or you make more money. It's about the fact that it is eating you alive from the inside out and it needs to come out because it's coming out already. Believe me, if you're not letting your true flow, your true message, what's inside of you out in the way it's meant to come out, which is you just relaxed in the vibe of being you. And if you're not letting your business be about that, it doesn't even matter how much money you're making. You already got things going on. You're established. It is eating you alive from the inside out. It's definitely coming out in whatever way it's coming out, which just could be like numbing stuff, addiction stuff, pent up you stuff that is seeping onto everybody else in your life. Sucks to be them. It needs to come out, right? This is just a reality of who we are. We didn't actually come here to figure out how to make money. Now, my coaching business, as pretty much everyone who is in my space for more than a minute knows, has made huge amounts of money on the internet. I've coached the best of the best online for absolutely years. I know about making money. But the thing that I know about making money, and I was doing it for a long time before I was ever online. I've been online, doing this thing online in whatever way I'm doing, whatever I'm even doing, for 17 plus years now. So it's a little more than a minute or two. The thing that's true about us is, it's never about how do I make more money. It is never about how do I grow this thing. It's actually not even about how can I build a successful business or have a successful business. It's actually not about that. At its core, it is about the fact that if you don't let what's inside of you out, it is going to destroy you from the inside out. It's going to result in you being kind of an asshole to everybody in your life. That's just a reality. It is going to have a fallout far beyond the fallout that you may be focused on of, oh, well, I'm not making the money that I know I should or could be, and it's affecting my lifestyle, and why am I not on track with success or whatever? And also there's the awareness inside of you that you know you're meant to help people, serve people, make a big difference in people's lives. All of that is all true and it's relevant, but none of that is actually the focus. You've got your eye on the wrong ball because the focus should be and should always and only be, what is this thing inside of me that has to come out right now? And that's from what you say on a random rambly live stream on a rainy day before you go back to bed at 2 o'clock, because I've been up since 1:19 a.m, you guys. I don't even know why. That's not a normal thing. It was just, that was the vibe today. So I'm about to have a little nap time after this at some point. I said that 4 hours ago, so we'll see. So whether it's what's coming out on a live stream, whether it's what you say on a little story, whether it's a blog post, whether it's a more, I don't know, structured piece of content, who could be bothered, it's not needed, just let the magic out. Whether it's your entire program or offer, whether it's your freaking funnel, whether it's how you see the vision of your website coming to life, whether it's the legacy work, whether it's something really, really real, like a podcast or a book, any and all of these things should actually just be, but what would it be if I didn't even care anymore? You know, when you reach that point where you actually go past the point of caring about whether or not the thing's making the next level money, whether or not you've got such and such kinds of clients coming in, whether or not anything, you know, when you get past that point of actually caring because it's actually broken you enough or eaten you alive enough, you know, to a point, or you've just reached some kind of tipping point to where you're now just going to do it because you're going to do it. That is what you need to be harnessing all of the time. That is the foundation to what you're here to do in the world. Because here's something I want to tell you about you. And if you're not this person, you're welcome to leave. But you know who you are. Here's something I want to tell you about you that I said in my membership group earlier today on a training I was running on launching. You've got that ability to tap into something so beyond you, so beyond what most humans really do ever choose to tap into. You've got that ability to tap into something so supernatural. You got that quantum stuff that can't be hacked. And that is why you should not be in Little Miss Paint by Numbers marketing club where somebody's telling you how to do stuff to build a business or to make money that makes you want to, as I said to my clients earlier, claw your own eyeballs out with cat claws and you don't even have a cat. You know what I'm talking about. Now, there's a time and a place for Little Miss Paint by Numbers system. It's for the people who need the paint by numbers system. It's not for us. This is not egotistical. This is understanding who you are. It's your reality. Pull out whatever cliche you want. You're going to feed a lion food of a, I don't know, kitty cat? Maybe a kitty cat does eat a version of what lions eat. Do you know what I mean? Like, you are who you are. So if you're that person who has that supernatural tapped in, what even is that comes through you when you are when you're flowing up, blowing up and glowing up, as only you can do, if you're somebody who's got that and you can just start freaking talking and then you don't stop, and by the way, like, it's like the people who it's not for just think you're crazy or you're high or they're just annoyed at you or whatever, but the people who you're for, even if you annoy them a bit, I annoy people. People tell me, it's astonishing. People tell me, sometimes though, like I mean people that buy from me, people tell me that they found me randomly on a live stream from years ago or whenever, like any period of time, right? I've been going live since 2015, but I've been doing online business since 2006. So the amount of times that I've heard people tell me they came across me somehow on a live stream, they don't even know how they came across me. I was like, I know. I said that stuff out in the quantum. That's how. I just like called you and I just trod a line. And that they were watching me though, and they were thinking, she's so annoying, but why can't I stop watching? And then they just went and like signed up for whatever private coaching or high level thing. Or at the moment I got that Play Life Rule Breaker Society. We just opened last night. This is a low cost, full 6 weeks with me. It's all on building your business to where it should be now. And it's through a similar kind of lens to what I'm getting into talking about here, which is accessing who you really are. So you need that business to build. You need to stop freaking worrying about how to build a business and how to make money and stop joining Little Miss Paint by Numbers class over there that's going to tell you how to do stuff that is going to make you legitimately want to belt your head through a wall because it is so horrible. It is so mind numbing. It is so freaking basic and boring as well while we're at it. And then on top of it, as well as being basic and boring, it somehow has the effect of making you feel like you're not good enough and that you're never going to get there, when the reality in your spirit is that you know that you have that quantum stuff that just can't be like put into a little nice neat formula or container, and you're not supposed to be concerning yourself with what the paint by numbers entrepreneurs need. I'm not being mean. I'm talking about different types of people. People need what they need. We don't need what other different kinds of people need, and they don't need what we need. There's a place for everybody here. I think there's genius people out there who do stuff that like so little interest in doing, even if I thought it would make me the next 100 million or whatever. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because I need, on a core level, more than I would ever need. Firstly, I don't like need money. Money is provided. Firstly, I've got God provided for me anyhow. So secondly, though, it's just not an innate need for us. You think you need it, that's when you know you're off path, right? You think you need to focus on how to make more money. You think you need to focus on how to build a business. This is when we know you need a slap on the face. You need to blow up, flow up, and glow up with Katrina Ruth in the Play Life Rule Breaker Society. And join now because we're going to close on Thursday. Close the doors. Because we're going into the 6 weeks. We're going to build your business. We're going to do it through the right freaking lens. And you should join now. You should not miss out. This kind of unapologetically raw, all in on business live time with me, it comes around in this sort of format once a year. thekatrinaruthshow.com/Play Life Society. Okay, so I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to make a point of difference. Yes, I'm trying to be a little bit funny because I like to be a little bit funny. Let's say it as it is. But I like my analogies as they come out. You don't need a paint by numbers system on how to do marketing or business when you're not a paint by numbers person. You were made to pour out a vortex swirl of mess, madness, raw, like, what even is that? Do I dare look at it? But I can't look away. That is freaking full on. There must be some really random stuff in that psyche of the person that did that. That's what you're meant to do. Yes, that can apply in business. Yes, it can apply in structured business. I've made tens of millions of dollars doing it that way. I've lost plenty of money and also plenty of time and probably cost a few gray hairs along the way by trying to not do it that way at times. Because I, like anyone else, despite the fact that I mentor the people who I mentor and have the results that I have, my clients, I still do the human thing. I definitely still have my time. So I'm like, maybe I should just go follow this little system over here. Why? Sometimes it's because there's people who I admire and love who that is their true flow and it's working for them. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should. No, Kat, no. What you should be doing is you should be continually keeping your eye. This is what you should be doing. You should be continually keeping your eye on the ball of the thing that actually excites you and brings you to life. That's where your focus should be. What would it be if you were letting out the thing that can't not come out? No, it is not. It is actually not ever. Do not lie to yourself, please. It is never, ever, ever, what would it be if I was doing the thing that's going to make me the next however much money? It is never, ever, ever, what would it be if I was doing the thing that I really should do by this point to build my business? It is never, ever, ever, what would it be if I was doing the thing that's going to finally get more high-level clients coming in? Or the thing, or what would it be if I was doing the thing that I finally need to get organized about because I've been all over the place and I just need to be, structured and like orderly in a different way to go to the next level? No, there's an order about who you are that doesn't need to be understood by anybody else. But you understand it, your true people understand it. And what this is about fundamentally is you have the ability to pull through something that is so different, so powerful, so magnetic, so supernaturally real. So like people just receive it and it doesn't even make sense and you don't even know what you're on about half the time. And it is so compelling, so needed. Do you know what I mean? Do you know how much your work is needed? Do you know what I mean? Yes. I'm glad you needed to hear this right now. I think we all need to hear this again and again. I know I need to hear it again and again. You think I preach it to you guys? I preach it to myself when I'm preaching. That's what's happening. I'm just letting through the thing that I needed to hear, that usually one of my clients needed to hear that day, and then that's where the idea came from, or the flow came from, yeah? So do you know how needed it is? Do you know what is not needed? You, with the level of supernatural tapped inness that you have, the ability to just have something come true that the world has never seen or known in a way that they did, just receive it, and it is an immediate activation and integration. What people do not need from you is for you to sit there in front of your laptop and try and figure out what the next thing is that you should do to make another 100K, million, 10K, whatever it is, or to build a business, or that you think you need to structure something, or you need to finally make your website more professional. Who freaking cares? People who are not you, that's who cares. People who don't understand this level of tapped inness, that's who cares. People who need the Paint My Numbers Club, that's who cares. People who are not your ideal clients and are going to give you a hard time and just drain the ever-loving daylights right out of you, that's who cares. They don't even care. They're just off track and they think they care. It doesn't matter what year we get to here. You know, it's 2023. Oh, we all have to be so perfect and whatever. That ship sailed a long time ago. Nobody cares. Doesn't mean don't have whatever vibe you want to have. I'm all about a bit of a vibe. I'll use a filter. I'll have my nice things, whatever. But nobody, like, you can have it, not have it. It doesn't matter. I've done these videos sitting in the most expensive, amazing hotels or first class lounges in the world. I've done them surrounded by all my flashy stuff when, you know, that was like a really big thing that I was into at the time when I was first starting to make a lot of money, and it was bringing up a lot of my stuff about who I thought I wasn't before that. I've done these sitting on the freaking rooftop of my gym in Bali, where I used to always climb out the window and sit on the roof because it's noisy if you stayed in the gym, and it was the way I kept myself disciplined to do my videos, but I do it straight after my workout. I've done it looking like an absolute, just the cat dragged her backwards out of bed and through the window mess in a sweaty car park in the Bahamas. Like, the background doesn't matter, the vibe doesn't matter, the filter doesn't matter, the get up doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Your website doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time your calls are at. It doesn't matter what the price is. It doesn't matter what the structure is. Anytime you think, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your features and benefits are. It actually doesn't even matter what your testimonials are. All these things are nice to have. I'm not saying don't have them. I have all these things, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your vibe, your background is or isn't. It doesn't matter if you're making any sense. It doesn't matter if you got distracted for 20 minutes and you rambled off some random story that has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't matter that you've got years worth of stuff that you promised yourself would be organized and sorted out and cleaned up by now, and it's still not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you don't have the page that looks like it somehow got spat out the vagina of a perfect marketing machine. It doesn't matter. I don't know where that came from. I've never said that one before. I love how when I'm in my flow, random stuff comes out that I've never ever said before. It doesn't matter if you've got a freaking clip art page. Do you get it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All of that stuff is nice to have if you want it afterwards. There's a cherry on top. If you want. Doesn't matter though. Have it if you want to have it. Have it, don't have it. Here's what matters. That the thing that is coming out of you did not come out of the vagina of a perfect marketing machine. It came out of the vagina of a creative, pretty freaking crazy biatch who's just like really honestly not interested in anything except letting what's inside of her out the way it comes out. And the reality is that the world could be crumbling around her and she's just having a good time. That's who we are. You know, when you let yourself be that person, guess what happens? Guess what happens? Watch out. If you're not this person, I would leave now. What happens is you attract more of those sort of people. They just show up out of nowhere. They're like, I don't even know how I found you. I was just watching live. I was thinking, what is this chick on? I couldn't stop watching. You find each other like magnets. Guess who those people are? Some of them are probably going to be like your best friends. Pretty much all the best friends in my life were either like clients in a membership or something, or just people I met on the internet or whatever. So you can find them. You might even find someone you marry. Who knows? Anything could happen. But you're definitely going to find your soulmate clients. That's what's going to happen. The people that love to pay you on repeat, they really couldn't even care less about all that stuff. They don't even notice it. They don't even know about it. They're definitely not reading that page unless they just love to read every different thing that you say. Exactly. What is she on? Take my money. Don't even care what it is. Do you know that one of my most amazing clients I've been working with quite a lot at the moment, who flew here from Canada a month or two ago now for a VIP day with me, first ever international client to come see me since COVID, FYI, because I haven't been running events for people. She came for a VIP day. And I didn't know this because she already done some private work with me beforehand. I've talked to her plenty of times. But until she was sitting with me in person on that day, I didn't know. She told me that the first course she bought from me, which was, I think about it, sometimes in the last maybe 9 to 12 months, that she literally, which was an entrepreneurial course, FYI. It was a serious course about building businesses. Because I'm a serious multi-millionaire entrepreneur that helps people make a lot of money online by being fully them. It's the being fully them bit that we're into. The rest is a byproduct, yeah? So it was a business course. She told me that until the course started, she thought she had signed up for an online kickboxing course because of how I dress online most of the time. And she literally just didn't even care what she'd signed up for, but she just knew she had to sign up for whatever it was that this person that she just found was selling. And because I'm mostly wearing fitness gear, it wasn't till the first week where she said to herself, what have I even bought? I hope I haven't signed up for some kind of online kickboxing course. I was like, what? That's hilarious. But it's not unusual. Well, the kickboxing part of it, well, I could definitely kickbox quite well. Thank you very much. But I haven't heard anyone exactly say that before, but I've heard a million things along those lines. I was like, that is so freaking funny. So she had no idea. She just knew she needed to be in my space. This is a human who spent quite a bit of money with me because they've then become a private client after that little course that they did. And who's come from Canada, not just once, but twice in the past 6 weeks. Just came back again last week when I did my 1-day wealth anointing event last week. A perfect aligned soulmate client. Exactly who I'm meant to be here with. Bris, Vegas. We should have a party in Vegas. Should I do an event in Vegas? You're in charge of deciding whether or not that's going to happen, Shona. Is that how I say your name? I've had this conversation with you before, haven't I? So we do not want to be concerning ourselves with what proper marketing things we should be spitting out the vagina of a perfect marketing machine. We're definitely going to keep using that line. That was good. We want to be concerning ourselves only with actually nothing. We don't want to be concerning ourselves with anything. We want to be concerning ourselves with what would it be if I was just letting it come through me? Because it can't not. Not because I'm trying to do this, fix that, improve that, show the world that I'm proper. Like, stop it. Just stop it. Now, don't do the other thing where you try and like on purpose show everyone how polarizing and random you are. That's embarrassing for you. We can all tell that you're doing that. Okay, fine. I do turn it up a little bit now and then, but I can do it. And if you think that you can, then you can. And if you think that you can't, then you can't. So that's on you. But seriously, like, don't try and be polarizing for the sake of it or emotional. Tearful selfie from the side angle for this. Like, don't try and be something. Just stop. Get yourself to the point. What's happening? Mindy's jumping from one live stream to the other. Get yourself to the point where you actually forgot you care at all about whether or not the thing makes money, about whether or not it builds a business, about whether or not it's bringing in ideal clients. Are you either going to get to that point because you broke or God broke you, one or the other? You better just let yourself break before God's got to break you. It's going to be easier if you do it yourself, FYI. So you either got to that point or you don't need to get to breaking point, man. Sister Brand. You don't need to get to breaking point. You don't. Who's saying that? Like, it's just that's commonly what people do. Well, entrepreneurs. It's commonly what we do is we don't reveal the real what we are until everything else fell apart so freaking, to a point that you just actually broke, and then you just start like throwing stuff out there at the internet like freaking bizarre, artistic, crazy creator, spat out the vagina missiles. Why are we so relentlessly talking about vaginas today, guys? Whose fault is that? I'm blaming Mindy for that, even though it was technically me who started it. But it's the vibe. Some people just have that vibe. They bring it out in you. So, you don't need to get to that point because it's actually a choice, and it's an intelligent choice to remember who you are and to go, you know what? Even though I know and believe this business should be making X 17 gajillion millions of hundreds of gajillions, because it just should. And even though I know I should be mentoring the next level, whoever, and even though whatever other things that should be true, the books, the podcasts, the huge events, whatever it is, right? That it's not because you focused on that. It's not because you kept your eye on that ball that's how it grew. You just already know this. Come on. So you take your eye off that ball, you put it aside. Why would you put it aside? Why would you need to not concern yourself with how that stuff happens? Why would it actually be irresponsible to concern yourself with how that happens? Why? Because it's supernaturally already promised and done. So what on earth are you trying to do it for? It's already done. The moment you're trying to do it all the time, you're operating in a realm where it's not done. So you will continue to be in a realm where it's not done. You better go and get yourself a pretty little sales page that somebody spat out of their perfect polished vagina marketing machine. If you don't know what I'm talking about by that, you have to watch a replay because it made sense when it made sense, all right? But you're going to need those things, I guess. You're going to operate in that realm. You're going to need all that. Ugh. the endlessness of it. So you have to opt out. That's what you have to do. You have to unsubscribe. You have to unsubscribe yourself. Now, sometimes when you unsubscribe from a marketer's email, it's not me because I'm very GDPR compliant, actually. So if you think I emailed you after you unsubscribed, that's because your soul just wanted back in and you resubscribed and you didn't know. Seriously. Or you probably subscribed to like 4 different email addresses. I don't market to people who've opted out. However, some marketers, when you unsubscribe from their email list, what happens? Like a sneaky little such and such, another email pops up from them suddenly. Sometimes like straight away the next like minute or week or day or whatever, which is audacious. It's almost impressive. But sometimes it's like 6 months later. You're like, I see what you're doing. You're doing the old run the thing to the, list from 6 months ago that forgot they opted out. I know when I opted out, I don't opt in with multiple email addresses. I have one email address. You may have 20 email addresses for me. None of them go to me unless you're a VIP, and then you know what email address you've got for me. They go to my assistant, but they might get forwarded to me. But I have one email address. And the VIP one goes into my one email address. So anyhow, my point is, sometimes when you opt out, my point's not about emails, but kind of. My point is, sometimes when you opt out of belief systems and patterns and ways of doing business, like a sneaky non-GDPR compliant marketer, you'll get resubscribed somehow, and next minute you didn't even really notice how it happened, and you're back on the train of, oh, I need to build a business. I need to have a pretty little proper sales page. I need to be thinking my way into how this will work. I need to figure out how to make more money. I don't know why my voice changed. I was trying to be boring. It's very hard for me to be boring when I'm in my true flow. It's just not really a thing. So I have to try. I just want to let you know as well that whatever randomness and humor and just that you might see on the internet, it's like an 0.1% version of what you would get in person. FYI. So if you ever do get the chance to come to an event or a retreat or anything like that, just be there. We've no idea what's going to happen, but it's going to be perfect. Don't ask me for a structure. Please don't ask me for the timetable or something like that. If I gave it to you, I didn't mean it. This is why as well, when I run events, I have to say to people, I said at the start of the day last week, somebody's going to need to remind me if you guys are planning to want to eat lunch, because I'm happy to do it, but I'm just going to forget. It's not going to happen. We're going to go to like 10 p.m. easily. In-person cat is my favorite. Yes. So what was I talking about anyway? Oh yeah, you should keep your eye on the ball of what would it be if I just let what came out that couldn't not come out, and you don't need to wait till you got to a breaking point and then you just started throwing stuff at the internet because you didn't care anymore and you were over everything and mainly over yourself. And honestly, transparency always, that's how my business first blew up to the million and then multi-million-dollar business. It was actually that. Many years ago now. But that's where it first really blew up, because I actually drove myself so desperately into the ground trying to be everything at the time that I thought I should have to be, and it was like killing me. And eventually I actually just snapped and I just did not give anything about anything, and I became very like aggressive, and it was a huge part of how my business blew up, not because of the aggression as such, but because of the fact that I snapped and I went beyond my own nonsense. I went beyond the delusion and the lies. I snapped so hard. I was so broken. I was so exhausted. I was so, like, I'd been treading water for what felt like forever. I couldn't handle it anymore, and I just didn't care anymore. And I just decided I don't even care. I'm just going to say what I want now, the way I want, how it comes out. If I never make money again, I actually didn't care. I actually didn't care if I never made a penny again, because I was like, you can get money any place, right? Like, I can go do any job. Let's see if I would do a job, but like I would have if I needed to. That's fine. Nothing against that. Go do whatever you need to do. Don't like demean that stuff, yeah? Go do whatever you need to do. But I wouldn't have been, like, I would have found a way to make money, right? So I actually got to a point where I didn't care, and that's when it blew up. And I understood something then when that happened that I did actually understand before that, but I had been living from, but I was always hedging my bets. You're hedging your bets. That's what's happening. The moment you think about how do I build it, how do I go to the next level of money or growth or anything, you're hedging your bets, and you're going to lose everything. Like your life. You will lose the unfolding of the pathway of your life. That's what we're talking about. So why don't you decide before you get to breaking point or the next breaking point, before God's got to break you because it needs to be done and you're not doing it, why don't you just not need to do that? And why don't you just decide, like an intelligent human that you are, to just boop, unsubscribe, opt out, switch to a different, like look through a different lens. No, I'm just not doing that paint by numbers nonsense anymore. That perfect, pretty, proper, like who freaking spat that out? It was AI before AI and everyone, it's we don't care. Your clients don't care, they don't care. Your true clients don't care, they don't care. They're gonna be like, oh, nice for you if you have a good photo shoot. Or if you have whatever, any of those things I said before, they're gonna be like, that's nice. They're happy for you. They don't care. That's not why they're there. If they're there, they shouldn't be. You don't actually even want to be dealing with people who are there because they responded to you thinking your way into some level of perfection that actually makes you sick to your stomach. That is just not you, and you're just not into it. So what do? You start selling, creating, showing up with stuff that would be the stuff, if you would have got to breaking point, that would have come through from a place of, at this point, if it never makes money, if nothing ever happens, if I never build a thing, if I never do a thing, I just need to let this out. I can't not let this out. That's what you can let out every single day. Every single day. And that's what it should be. And then whack a freaking sticker on it with a price point and you're done. Tens of millions later. I'm not kidding. Because the implementation, the integration, the application of this is a follow-on to the fact that you went into that place where it is already done and you just started spitting fire with whatever was in there. And you decided that it was no longer an option whether or not you will back what's coming through you. No longer an option. You know why you don't get into the promised land, into the place where your business flows and glows and you're just like blowing up all over the place? Because of your unbelief. That is why. Because of your unbelief. That is why. That is biblically correct. That is reality correct. That is your life correct. You're not getting into the place where you're meant to be because of your unbelief. Because of your unbelief. And because of your unbelief, you're doing all this stuff here and there and joining all the little paint by numbers classes that you can get your little hands on that are making you sick to your stomach, and then telling yourself, beating up on yourself, this is so heartbreaking, honestly, that you're not good enough because you're not doing a good job of being somebody who you're not and who you didn't come here to be. And deep down within, your spirit is screaming. And deep down within, you do know. And deep down within, you have what it takes because you were born for this. And you were born for it right now, for this moment in time. And you are the person right now. You are the person right now. You are the person right now who is anointed, and this is your time. You are appointed right now. You are appointed for this season. This is your time. This is not me, by the way. God just took over right then. I don't know if you felt that. That's just a direct message that God's telling me for you right now. You are appointed right now. You are anointed for this work that you came here to do. And this is the time. This is the time. This is the time of the appointment. This is the time. This is the time. So take your human stuff and put it to the side where it can go and just hand over all of it. What is the thing that needs to come out? The world needs it. That's not a cliche. It is the time now for you to go straight to where you always have supernaturally been. And the physical gets to now match that. It's a reality. And I'm telling you, I'm like, God is telling me this for you. I'm also backing it with years of experience mentoring the best of the best in the online space and with my own personal journey and experience as well. This is the way. This is how the business blows up. This is the story you will tell. You take your eye off that wrong ball. You get it off right now. You get yourself out of any environment that is telling you how to do a mediocre job of being somebody that you never came here to do. And it is causing you to feel perpetually exhausted, perpetually as though this thing gets harder and harder. It's not fun. It's not flow. And honestly, you're just so done with all of it that you wonder if you ever even should have started. You just need to switch lanes. That's it. It's a heartbeat. It's a moment in time. It's not difficult. It doesn't take time. It's a choice. It happens right now. It happened already for some of you right now here today. It's a decision. You dropped something already, right? You just let it go. You don't even know what that means. You don't even know what's next, but you did it. Who is that? Tell me, because I'm just celebrating for you. And if you didn't and you're still holding on, let go. Literally wherever you are right now, just open your hands. Go, God, I'm just giving it to you. I'm handing it over. I'm just going to hand it over. Just decide right now. You don't need me. I'm not saying decide and then you should coach with me. I think you should join the Play Life Rule Breaker Society. I think that if you want to see how business really blows up and glows up through this kind of a lens, by you having your eye on the right ball, then I think you should come and do 6 weeks with me, especially at that price point for a 6-week live course. And if you're going to do that, I think you should do it right now today, because the doors are only open for 2 more days. But whether or not you do, you don't need me to let go and to then allow what it's meant to be to come through. Because the whole freaking point is it's the void. It's the void on repeat. Do you get it? Do you want something else? Do you want the paint by numbers thing that you're telling yourself you have to do? You don't. Like, wake up. You don't even want what you're pursuing. So just let go. Mark this day in your diary. This was the day I just woke up. This was the day I just decided to be done. I can tell you that every major transition or like expansion learning is like every major thing that has happened in my life, not just business and money, that is like the story or whatever, you know, the big thing that everyone then trying to get to or figure out how to get to. And also that whenever anyone's asking me about any of my like most famous well-known clients, like, well, how did that person, whatever, how did you coach that person? I can tell you that it was always that there was a moment in time. It is a moment. It's not a 6-week course. It's not a year of mentoring. It's not another 20. It's not anything. Like those things, you do it if it's aligned for you to do. That's the reason to do it. You don't do it so that you can learn how to build, make, earn, grow, like get the right people. You don't care, you don't care, you don't care, you don't care, you don't care. That stuff is already supernaturally done. It's just a given. It's a follow-on. It's a byproduct. Your focus is meant to be on what is the thing that can't not come through. Let me bring it through, because it is consuming me if I don't. And it's bit by bit destroying you from the inside out. And every major breakthrough that I've seen in my own life or my clients' lives, everything that has been like, what just happened, is literally there was a moment in time where that person just went, I'm done. And they just switch lanes. And it doesn't actually have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be that something happened. It doesn't have to be a breaking point. Oftentimes it is, because people don't do it unless it's a breaking point. But it's a choice. Can you make that choice today? Did you already make that choice today? Do you need to make that choice right now today? It's a choice. Walk into the void. Your lack of belief is why you don't get there. Your lack of belief is why you don't get there. Your lack of belief is why you give your life bit by bit to all the stuff that it was never about for you, and that you really don't need to concern yourself with, because those outcomes that you're giving your life to are already supernaturally done. And so while you're trying to do them, you're going to keep yourself in the wrong realm. And so instead it just needs to be, and then she just did that. What is that? I don't know. Only you can know. But I do know this. It is some sort of something that cannot be replicated. It is a supernatural tapped inness that can't be hacked, it can't be duplicated, and it cannot be taught paint by numbers. So yes, there is a way for your business to grow. Yes, there always is a way actually for it to snap now, immediately to where it should be, because really with this kind of person, with you, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about build something. Exactly, that's not what we're talking about. We just discussed that. We're talking about snapping it, switch flicking it, snapping it now to where it already should be. That is always supernaturally available. Some people understand that, some don't. If you don't, you're welcome to leave. Okay, that's just how it is. It doesn't mean that things are not put in place in a very practical, grown-up business type sense. Those things will be put in place, however they're actually meant to be, but it won't be because you were looking at them or focusing on them. It'll be a revelation and a download and a realization. It will actually just kind of sort itself out, and there'll be small things that you need to do. How do you strengthen self-belief? It's a practice. It's a practice. It's a practice. You learn about faith. You learn about belief. You learn what trust really means. And how do we really learn something? By stepping into it, embodying it, practicing it, and saying yes, even when our mind hasn't figured it out. If you're trying to figure it out or like learn it in the intellectual sense, then you'll stay stuck there. So you decide and then you practice. Well, what would the next move that's right in front of me, just the next one, what would that be if I did fully trust? And if your mind's like, but I don't even know. If I knew, then I would know. No, stop it. No, unsubscribe. You do know. Even though you don't know, if you did know, what would it be? I mean, that's a small starting point, okay? So, this was amazing. If you just jumped on, watch the replay, because I honestly, truly thought I was going to talk for 10 minutes and then have my nap time, because I got up at 1 a.m., 1:19. That's because God got me up. I wasn't trying to get up at 1 a.m. and I don't get up at 1 a.m. and God doesn't usually get me up at 1 a.m. as well. But there were things that had to be dealt with in the supernatural. So that's what I did. And then because I was already up, I was just like eating some chicken in the middle of the night and writing and doing all the things, and now it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon and I've had 2 hours sleep and also lost a lot of blood today, deliberately. I had to have a lot of blood taken today. So I'm like, I thought I would come on and talk for 10 minutes. Why am I suddenly putting my watch back on? I don't even know why I'm doing that. So I'm going to go. I thought it would be 10 minutes. We went for an hour. The Play Life Society, the doors just opened last night. The prep work is in the group. This is a 6-week live new course with me. It is an absolute yes, no-brainer investment. This is the kind of like incredible, supernatural, crazy that I do to help you drop in, activate, and just go and flow immediately to where your business is meant to be, the switch flick. That kind of work that is usually only accessible for private clients, and I only do this kind of raw, dropped in, like what even is that type of course, usually once a year. This is it. You can buy it home, study afterwards. Don't do that. That's madness. You need to be in this container. You need to be in this container. The doors are going to close on Thursday. If anything I've said here today, this was a moment today, that's for sure. If anything spoke to you with truth that you know you need to act on, I'm telling you, there's a different way from how you've been shown. That's just a reality. This is what I've been doing for years. I do it for those who just cannot go there because this is who you are. And what I will do is I will hold you to the fire that is you being fully you, such that you are no longer capable to continue to fight against who you truly are, and it just starts to come out. And then I'll show you exactly how that effortlessly gets channeled into the outcomes that are already there, supernaturally, not just the money and the clients, but the literal practicalities of the business, every different part of it. So this is business. Serious business building where we don't worry about building the business, we just go be the thing. So it's at thekatrinaruthshow.com/Play Life Society, thekatrinaruthshow.com/Play Life Society. Let's go. Don't forget, life is now, press play.